Hi there. Thank you for your reply. And this is my reply to your reply. First off, why can't it be proof for a common design or designer? The thousands of sequences, wouldn't genetic code be proof of a creator? That's what you asked. The question is yes and no. Because a creator has no limits in its creation, there are no boundaries which refute the possibility of anything being made by a creator. Therefore, though, it's impossible to say that there is a creator because any option could be the work of a creator. Sounds illogical, but it is actually illogical to state it is done by a creator because there's no direct proof or negative proof of a creator. For evolution, though, there is a positive and negative control. Namely, if there are creatures without the connection in DNA, it would show that it is not part of the evolutionary system, meaning it didn't evolve, which would mean evolution is wrong. You don't have such things for a creator. You can actually say, well, a creator made it look like evolution. This sounds stupid, but a creator could have made it this way anyway. The creator is not some way to explain it because there is no scientific way of explaining it with a creator unless you have a negative control, but you don't have that. For evolution there is a negative control, and so far no creature has actually been found that doesn't have this DNA link, so it is evidence for evolution. Second question. It is a fact that a lot of fossils we find are alive today. Over 80%, thus we expect to find these fossils a lot. I have no idea what you mean. I've looked at this many times, and instead of responding to what I think you mean, why don't you write me a message explaining what exactly you mean with this question so I can respond to it correctly, because otherwise, I might just be responding to a straw man of your argument. Oh, let's leave that question for a little while. Third question, though. The species I talk about as transitionals aren't transitional because they are complete species. For instance, they have feathers or scales, but not something in between. This is simply wrong. I recommend researching your facts before you sprout this kind of nonsense. If you look up the fossil record and, for instance, look up dino to bird transitional species, you will see those who have no feathers, like the Dromaeosaurus, to only partial feathers, like the Cuvier, that only shows the beginning structures of feathers, but no real feathers and no flight. And then dinos like the Archaeopteryx, which shows nearly full feathers, but still a lot of elements of previous dino heritage. This basically shows a nice line of a non-feather to feather. So it's there if you want to look at it. Even if we didn't find this, though, there are dozens of specifics of significant signs that show transitional form. So, you would have to refute every single one of them correctly to really have a good point. But that's impossible. Let's see now. Okay, next question. No invertebrate to vertebrate fossils have been found indicating transition. Again, something you could look up on Google very easily. Let me just name 7 vertebrate to invertebrate to vertebrate fossils that I have found on Google pretty much the first time I searched it. First, Ikaia. 2, Unanozone. 3, Haikuela. 4, conodont animals. 5, Cataimeris diadexis. 6, Milocunmingia. 7, Haikustitis, or something like that. I have no clue how to say this. Note that these forms are transitional because they show signs of vertebrate structures, but they are all only partially formed, like only part of a vertebrate structure, not the complete vertebrate structure. So they are in transition, as you would call it. Look these up if you want to know more, and if you want the correct names, I can't provide them. Next question. The appendix is not scientifically proven to have existed in any larger, more functional form as the vestigial form we have now in humans. In other words, I have no proof of it being vestigial and not like this the way it's supposed to be. But that's ridiculous. Once again, look around on the internet. We have the closest relative of the humans, which have an appendix which is quite a bit larger and has a lot more function than the human appendix. We have dozens of species which have fully formed appendixes, and a couple of species that have appendixes which are slightly vestigial to quite a bit vestigial. There is so much indication that these all work together, that this is all the same form, that is impossible to say that it's not a vestigial, because there's too much evidence for it being vestigial in all these animals, unless you say that they all have a different function, but this is not true. Next question. Can you prove the salamander, the blind salamander, had eyes in the past? Again, look it up on Google. The blind salamander still has eyes, only these eyes are covered by a little bit of skin, which causes it to be unable to see light. Which makes it odd, to see things, but they do have eyes. They're slightly vestigial, but they do have eyes. They just don't work anymore because they're covered up by skin. So that's pretty much a clear indication that they did have eyes in the past, or the creator must have given them eyes that do not work, which is kind of weird. I think I got all questions like that. As I have shown, the evidence is there if you just open your eyes and look around, namely on Google. Or if you want some links, I'm going to give you some links, just ask for them. On the discussion of a specific fossil, if I should choose one, you've already shown that you lack the will to really research your own claims. Things I've refuted in 5 minutes of searching on Google. So what is going to stop you from claiming more bullshit for me to refute? You can make up many claims that are easily to find and refute, but it would still just cost time on searching them, while you could take the time and search if your claims are correct. So I'm going to give you a link, and this link provides you with a lot of evidence and information on transitionals. If you're really curious on how it works and on how many there is, you will look through that link. So good luck, and thank you for your response.